Our lesson tonight I have titled On Serial Murder, Divorce and Adultery. I have written and spoken on divorce before. It is the second greatest cause of sin in the Christian faiths today, coming right behind the sin of hatred of races or of persons different to you in any way, for any reason, for the failure or actual refusal to accept them into your congregation or community of anyone who is sealed with the light of Christ is a sin. And that sin is the very act of killing them. For you deny their very right to exist, which is akin to killing each and every one of them in your heart and in your mind. You have wiped them from the face of the earth. Thus, discrimination is the sin of mental genocide of all other races, of the elderly, the disabled, and all other persons you deem insufficient. Discriminators, or we can add one more letter, an H in front of the A, and make it discriminators, can never and will never reach the kingdom of heaven until they repent each and every mental murder, recreating each that they have mentally wiped from existence, recreating in their mind those entire races of people that they have killed, basically apologizing fully and completely for each and every one of the thousands of millions they have offended before God. Now, for divorce, one causes the other to sin, so one carries the full burden of all the sin at the end of the relationship. If one commits serial infidelity, believing the other should have inhuman faith, inhuman stores of forgiveness, or, in reality, that their partner should just continue to be stupid and gullible because these are the acts of a sociopath who isn't going to change, even if the Christ was standing right in front of him. That termination and all subsequent acts by the partner are upon the one who cheated and continues to cheat with every breath, and cause the determination until a religious annulment ends the ordeal. But in situations where one is growing and learning and expanding their horizons naturally, but the other is reverting to a previous immature state, their growth is not the cause, but the immaturity and fear of the other is. That is the partner who will refuse counseling, will refuse doing anything to save the marriage, as is required by the Bible, as is required by the contract you sign on the day of your wedding. That partner will rationalize, will make excuses. Oh, will they justify, rationalize endlessly? That partner will never change. And all sin, until a religious annulment is possible, is upon that one person. A religious annulment declares that the union was never a sacrament, and is recognized by all Christian churches now. Each does it in a slightly different manner. The current method for the Catholic Church is designed to create a path to healing within the Church, rather than a termination of one's relationship with the Church, with Christ through the Church. The old method actually harmed the parties. The method that they have used since at least the mid-90s is therapeutic in nature. Other churches follow a much more legalistic path, with no sessions of interviews or counseling included. In the Catholic process, an interview is classified as a therapeutic interview and occurs after one has completed an extensive questionnaire and a history of the relationship by the petitioner, and a questionnaire and reply by the respondent, with petitioner paying all fees. Petitioners have at least 3 interviews, with 2 as direct examinations and 1 the therapeutic interview. Respondents have only the last interview, and it is 3 to 5 hours in length. The religious annulment is the only means by which a Christian can marry again within the faith and not be committing adultery if the previous spouse continues to live. There are no exceptions, though some search for them. But you can see that the Lord is quite specific in his words. He puts the burden, the onus, if you will, upon the partner and says, if you do this, because of the hardness of your hearts, he wrote you this commandment, that from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the 2 shall become one flesh. They are no longer 2, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, may no one put asunder. Whoever divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery against his first wife. And if she divorces her husband and marries another, she commits adultery. There is nothing in that sentence that says, but if you do this, then it's not adultery. No. There is no yeah but statement in the Bible. I have never seen or heard in all of the scholarly writings a yeah but from the Lord Christ. He was very specific and concrete with his statements. If anyone out there listening knows of a yeah but from Christ, please write to me. Let me know. For Christ did not suffer from yeah buts, from the, shall we say, independent thinking of those who tell untruths. So, quit being a discriminator. Quit, in your mind, killing all those who are different from you. For having to recreate thousands of millions of people will definitely keep you out of the kingdom of heaven for a very long time. And if you aren't going to honor the vows of marriage, don't get married.